What's going on there? Damn. You can tell it's too fucking early in the morning for this shit. Alright, so actually, let me get my shit together first, because, man, I am not on it right now. There it is. Okay. So, about the last reel that I posted, or short, however it's labeled, I don't care. So yeah, that was the aftermath, well, the second aftermath of me breaking down again. So 2 weeks ago, I was in the shop because I had DPF valve code, or def valve code, saying that it was in the lock position. Damn, I just messed that all up. It was in lock position. So I called, spoke with the dealership that I normally take my truck to, and he basically said, yeah, it could be a multiple issues, but me personally, I wouldn't drive far on it because it could derate. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try to get to the shop. Right now I'm in the outskirts of Houston, and I had to deliver at HEB, and then I was just going to deliver and come home. But I didn't want to take the risk of driving an extra 60 miles or whatever it was, so I just got it back to the house. Oh, look at this shit. Look at this shit. I don't like the light on, looking all conspicuous. See if I can catch him. So, see this Maybach truck right here? Come on, get up. Oh, I was stepping on. This Maybach truck coming around. He has a collapsed wall. And, yeah, that's not good. So, I don't know why he's still driving on it like this. But look at this shit. And he's still driving. But anyway, back to my story. I'm probably gonna catch him on the road if he's going the same way I'm going. But I was like, oh yeah, I don't feel comfortable driving the last 60 miles or whatever. So I'm gonna take it to the shop closer to the house. So that's what I did. Took to the shop. They repaired it, but also they said that the EGR cooler failed the test after. It's like a mandatory testing of the whole system. But so that failed, so they ended up having to replace the valve. And then after they replaced the valve, they did a full DPF filter cleaning. And then in the same time frame, they said that the downpipe from the turbo to the DPF system over here on the passenger side had a crack in it. So I got a brand new downpipe. It came with the clamps. It came with pretty much everything needed, because I originally didn't want to pay like the $800 to get the whole new pipe thing. I just wanted them to weld it, but he said it was under the installation. So I was like, okay, do what you gotta do. But the bill ended up coming out to like $7,600, $7,400. So I'm like, damn, there goes my maintenance account. But also, I was like, well, I'm just gonna get it back, and I'll just make it back within the next 2 weeks. And not even, I want to say 1,200 miles from picking up. Well, actually, it was more than 1,200, because it's like 300 from Temple to Laredo, and then I want to say maybe 1,200 from Laredo to well, no, maybe 800. No, we'll probably say 1,000 from Laredo to South Carolina state line. So we're already looking at a little bit over 1,700 miles that I drove the truck before the issue happened. Now, I got to the state line and it's saying that the coolant was low. So I'm like, well, damn, wasn't expecting that. But luckily, I just crossed the state line and there's a Love's truck stop at exit 4. So I had to basically slow the fuck down. Because I was hauling at least like 72 to 75 miles an hour. So I slowed down to about 58 just for the last 3 miles because I don't want to put too much heat on the motor since I'm losing coolant, right? And I get in there and sure enough, it's like right there below that first return line. So I'm saying like, damn, what the fuck going on? So, and then of course I have my dirty shirt back there, which I'm pissed off about because like this shirt right here, this is my original company shirt, right? So I phased out of these for this one, right? So this is more like like dry fit shirts and stuff like that, moisture wicking. Yeah, that's what these shirts are. But I just see it's all dirty, right? And that's coolant and whatever oil and grease was on the ground. So my shirt's dirty. And I don't know if them stains are going to come out. But nonetheless, went ahead and figured out where the leak was. And I called up the company that repaired the EGR valve. And, they really didn't give me no assurance on, what I was getting myself into. But I was calm and collective about it and asking them, what did they go through? Like, what? Oh, damn, can't talk. Okay, I'll talk about that later. But, what steps did they go to replace it? And I said, did y'all touch the coolant when y'all was replacing it? And he said, well, I don't know because it's not enough. So I said, okay, well, I'll figure something out. So in the meantime, I just put some coolant in, let it rev it for about 5 minutes at about maybe 1,200 RPMs. And it was good. So I said, okay, maybe it was just, not topped off. And it finally got to the point where, it just like cooked itself or whatever. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I ended up driving another 2 hours to, well, not 2 hours, about an hour and a half to Blacksburg, South Carolina, which is basically right at the North Carolina state line. Upon getting there, I stopped to do an inspection on the thing, and sure enough, it was still within the cold minimum and cold max line, right? So it's like right here in the middle. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just top it off in the morning when everything cools down to the point where it's at the cold max line, right? And literally sat there for 11 hours. Got back up at 2. Yeah, got up at 2 something to get ready to roll out, and it was right back at the line. Well, not the line, but the first return line. So I'm like, shit. So I put the second bottle of coolant in, and then also went up to the shop to buy 2 more gallons to put in the truck just in case, because now I know there's a serious leak, because I was just sitting and it leaked within 11 hours. And I didn't even get 3 hours up the road, but luckily I was right at the exit for the customer I was delivering to. So once I got there, getting ready to pull off on this little half crescent exit, that's when the light goes on. So I park it, and then that's when I take that video. And now you can see the sting. You can see where it's coming from, because when I stopped the first time, you couldn't tell anything. Like, I have pictures where all you see is the coolant, like dried up coolant. You know, it has like an orange tint, and it's like down the side of the motor and stuff like that. But you don't really see where it came from. But being that it happened like just then and there, and it started steaming profusely, I was like, okay, so now we know exactly where it's coming from. So of course I sent them a message that morning saying, hey, yeah, so I had the issue again. What are we going to do about it? Because I can't go any further with it like this. And he's like, oh yeah, we got a dealership you could probably take it to that's in Raleigh area. So it's like, okay, cool. So get there, find out that it was basically the EGR valve was installed improperly. So they went in and fixed that, which ended up costing about $664, right? So that is why, you know, I had an issue. And now, of course, I just went in, did my little morning routine or whatever, and I came back to the truck and did an overlook of the coolant, and it's still good. So I'm happy. But the main point is to say that when you want to be an owner-operator out here, all right, you have to keep in mind that this isn't passive income, all right? I know there's a lot of people out there saying you can do passive income from trucking, but let's not think of it like that anymore, right? Those are lies, because you're not going to be able to make money out here by doing nothing. You got to pretty much have skin in the game, all right? And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time away from home. But keep in mind that when you're out here, you need to be actively putting money aside. I'd say 3 months worth of whatever your fixed cost is. So that's truck note, payroll, insurance, taxes, and really the taxes is like payroll tax. Payroll and payroll tax are like two different things for me, because I just write myself a check, and then okay, yeah, my accountant does everything, but she always sends me like a draft statement or whatever for, you know, for the policy with them, as far as like, well, the contract with them is how much I have to pay them a month, and then how much I pay in insurance tax for, well, not insurance tax, but it's like the wage tax or whatever I got paid to the IRS every month or whatever. So yeah, truck note, payroll, the fixed costs, along with the taxes. So those four things, once you add them up for the month or whatever, that's how much you need to be putting aside, because that's going to hold you over. And the reason why I say it like that is because 3 truck notes is good enough to cover most repairs. All right. But when it starts getting to the point where your repairs are totaling more than 3 months worth of truck notes, along with like payroll and all this other stuff, then you're gonna be in some deep trouble. And that's where Landstar comes in, because like I said in my other video, when you break down at Landstar and you don't have enough funds to fix your truck, Landstar is going to step in for you. Just like with the tires, they're going to step in for you. Well, let's go back to the main thing. They're going to step in for you to cover that bill, but you're going to pay them back in 10 weeks of payments. So that means you got to get back out there and run your ass off, because they're going to deduct it from your check. But with the tires, it's a good thing, because you know you got all these discounts for the tires. You could pay for the tires like then and there, or you could just go through and have them pay for it and then charge you within the 10-week payments or whatever as well. So, but at the end of the day, it's like I always found it better to just use the LCAP program, just like that. Just have them take it out instead of, you know, you buying it then and there. But yeah, like I said, just have that maintenance account at least 3 months worth. That way you know you're set. You don't have to worry about it. Because like I said, I was off at home for 2 whole weeks. That's 2 whole weeks of not running, losing money. So, but I mean, I wasn't worried, and I'm still not worried, because the load for Laredo was actually a blessing, and now I'm heading back to Laredo, so maybe we could double up. But yeah, everything's good, golden. I mean, granted, it was fucking heavy load. It was like 45,200 pounds on the last load, and I usually don't haul that heavy, but it served its purpose. I made it here perfectly good, outside of the breakdown, but then again, I don't have to pay for it because it's warranty work from an international dealership. And yeah, but also someone asked me about Mercer. As you see, there's a Mercer trailer right there, here, just outside of I'm in between Rock Hill and Columbia right now. I don't even know the name of town, but there's a Mercer trailer. Like I said in the comment, they're kind of like Landstar from what I've heard. I've never applied to Mercer, so I really wouldn't know much about them, but they're a good owner-operator company. They do have Walmart dedicated accounts, but also being here, I've noticed that I'm a little bit more comfortable with JB Hunt, being that I don't have to cold call on loads. Whatever on the load board is good. Now, I did get some other load boards to check there, and I will say that sometimes the loads at JB Hunt aren't worth it, but on the other load boards, like, yeah, they really pop. And sometimes you'll find the same loads on the load board for JB Hunt with the other load boards, and they're paying the same thing. So I was like, would you rather book it for JB Hunt, or would you rather book it as a 3PL and pocket the extra money? Now, some of y'all don't know that you can be a actual contractor at JB Hunt. That's where you're running your own numbers, but you're pulling JB Hunt trailer. That's possible. Or you could just be the contractor for JB Hunt, running their numbers, pulling their trailers, utilizing their discount for the ELD stuff. Well, not ELD, toll roads and stuff like that. So, but for me right now, my plan is once I pay the truck off, I'm most likely going to go ahead and get my own authority. Probably still run for JB Hunt. Don't know yet, but most likely get my own authority. That way I could bring in a little bit more money. Because like I said, I'm looking on these other load boards, and I'm actually seeing a little bit of improvement, even though it is spot market, but there's a good leeway. And at the same time, like I said, you could pull JB Hunt trailers, JB Hunt loads, and then pull 3PL loads with the JB Hunt trailer. So let's say, case in point, I rode from Laredo to North Carolina. Now, instead of driving all the way to Rock Hill, South Carolina, I probably could have found something a lot closer on the spot market. Well, I know I would have found something a lot closer, but I could have found something closer, so I wouldn't have to deadhead so far to get back to Texas. So that's what I really want to utilize it for, which is why I actually like Landstar, because Landstar you can find loads pretty much anywhere and everywhere. You didn't have to deadhead more than 30 miles if you wanted to. But yeah, don't want to make this video too long because I know it takes a long time to upload. But that's the gist of everything. Recap on the last video, recap on the video that I didn't post. But yeah. Oh, and also you got to see the ignorance of, you know, some truckers out here. But I mean, I like I said, I wish that driver the best at this point, because no reason to talk bad about him. You know, it probably just happened. But if my trailer failed like that, I wouldn't be driving it. But until next time, without further ado, I'll catch y'all later. Probably making more videos. Actually going to try to figure out the settings on my YouTube account to figure out why it's not sending me the message notifications saying that, you know, people were making comments and asking me stuff. But I went ahead and did all the comments on there, and then yeah, we'll go from there. But till next time, deuce.